Good stuff going on today. So happy that you're joining me. It's going to be a fabulous show. All right, we have the dynamic duo, the Blended Bryants, on our show today. If you're wondering where my amazing wife is, I told you when it's the blend, when it's harmony, it works like this. So we have three boys over, two of my son's friends. We took them to see Peter Rabbit. Well, halfway through the movie, we switched. I had to come home, get prepared for this. Mrs. Holmes, my wife, she came in to the movie theater, took over. Now she's taking the boys home. But that's how it works, right? That's the real blend. That's what goes on in real life. So she'll be joining me a little later on, as soon as she finishes dropping off Major's friends. But I just want you to know, good stuff happening, right? Been raining a lot in Houston, but I'll take that over cold. So it's been some good stuff. And I'm seeing, we already have some comments dropping in. Ebony Gator. This is Ebo. For those of you who don't know, that was the nickname in college. Ebony, how are you doing? Ebony went to North Carolina A&T. She's a chemical engineer. Her husband, great singer, has his choir doing great things out there in North Carolina. Me and Ebony have known each other now, well over 20 years. We sang in the gospel choir together. Just want to tell you, thanks for joining, Ebony. It's going to be a great show. And everybody wants you to know, Ebony has agreed to be on the show as well. Ebony is doing some incredible things. She's a great singer, great mother, intentional with her time, her and her husband. He's a great cook, great baker. We've ordered some pastries from him in the past. But Ebony, just want to say thank you for joining. Good stuff happening. It's going to be a really, really great show. So just some things, some housekeeping items, right? If you're wondering about how to gain access to, Marcus Holmes, the Blended Family guy, there's several ways you can do it, but I have some new content. We got some more coming out, but some new content. It's the 6 steps to a successful blended family. If you're wondering how to get that, if you're wondering, well, Marcus, how do I access this workbook that you created? Here's how you do it. All right. You can text right now the word family to the number on your mobile phone. You just type in family without the quotes. Type in the word family to the number 240-747-7115. This will give you immediate access to download the document. Great document, great workbook. And we're going to have a few more things in terms of content coming out here very soon. If you're not a text message person, you can go to marcusholmesgifts.com and it is going to work for you that way as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, real quick, I'm going to do this in 30 seconds. I promise, because I want to get to our guests. Have some really, really great questions we want to get answered. If you don't know who the Blended Family guy is, it's me. What I do is I provide content. I provide real conversations. I provide solutions to the blended family life. And it's not not only from the traditional set, but how do I manage work and, my career and the kids and my marriage, my relationship with Christ, my relationship with family? How do I make all that work? Because sometimes people can feel like they're spiraling out of control. So we provide the mechanisms, the processes, the conversations from where we messed up along the way. Me and my wife, we've been married 16 years. Out of that wonderful, wonderful marriage, I inherited an amazing daughter. Camille is 25. And here's the awesome thing, y'all. My daughter dropped in on Houston. She lives in California now. She came in about 12 midnight, and everybody knows this. I love my daughter, would do anything for her. Hard to tell her no, but I do. I try to sometimes. But she's I love my daughter. So I'm glad she's here for a few days. I don't know when she's leaving. She might be like, Dad, you know what? I got to get back to California tomorrow. You know why? she has great work ethic. That's the one thing that she inherited from her mom, and I'll say she just has incredible work ethic. So she's going to be on the show talking about how to reach the millennial generation here in a few short weeks. So good stuff happening, guys. Good stuff happening. I'm a happy guy right now. I got both my kids in town. We're going to go see Black Panther sometime this week before she leaves. And guys, I'm good. 25 years old, 6 years old. And I feel like, you know what? I have it good right now. So without further ado, I have the Blended Bryants. All right. This team, I'm going to bring them up now. I'm going to bring them up. They're coming into the queue. Here we go. So we're getting ready to come on. This is Darian and Nita. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, well, how you doing?
All right. Doing good. Doing good. So why don't you, before we get into the questions, I want you guys to just share your names, your background, where you're from, and how life is going. Because I believe it's Alabama, right? It's Alabama. Did y'all go to an HBCU like me?
I went to Alabama A&M University.
All right. Okay. I'll let you pass on that one. You know that A&T has the greatest homecoming on earth.
So I haven't been, but I've heard stories. Definitely A&M is one to rival. So.
All right. Well, hey, I'm not going to heckle you too much on that, but I'm really excited. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself to the Blended Family community, and this will probably be viewed hopefully several times over. So I definitely want people to know a little bit about you, and we're going to go through all of your digital footprint and where people can reach you throughout the show. But just give us a little bit of background about yourselves.
All right. I'll start. My name is Darian Bryant. I'm 30 years old. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Came down to Huntsville, Alabama to attend, like I said, the Alabama A&M University. I have my degree in marketing. However, I am a certified flight controller for NASA, for Marshall Space and Flight Center here in Huntsville. So that's my 9-to-5 job. I also have a marketing and branding company that I do on the side. I know you're a big of side time hustles. So I do that on the side, working with small companies and entrepreneurs, trying to get off the ground and help their brand come to fruition. And I'm doing wonderful. Got to go to church this morning, got a good word here, sharing this platform with you, Marcus. So I couldn't ask for anything else.
Outstanding. Nita, please.
I'm Nita. I'm a military brat, so I'm from all over. I attended a local university here, the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Yeah. Still currently getting my degree in cybersecurity. And I work at a local credit union here, full-time mother. And on the side, I've been getting my hands into a boutique that I'd like to start.
Clothing boutique or clothing? What? Really? Okay. Good stuff. So we're going to get right to it. Okay. We'll take it as long as you both will have me. These shows normally run, about an hour and 15 minutes, but they can run longer with the conversation allows it to. So Facebook community, I want you to comment. I want you to leave those comments, ask the questions. We'll make sure to answer them. We'll post your commentary, but let's get more people involved in this conversation. So let's get to it. So here's the first question. All right. And I'm going to ask Darian. First question. What was the deciding factor in you proposing? What was it? What was it about Nita Was it the kids? Was it the background, the military background? What was it that, that you said, this is the one?
Well, she gave me an ultimatum. She said either you put a ring on it or get out of my life. So that kind of is what. Okay.
Hey. So here, what you're hearing, and I'm sorry. Hey, yeah. Okay, hey guys. All right. So here, this is my the three amigos from my son are here. My daughter, how you doing? This is Michael. All right, so Camille, baby girl, I'm on. Come on. All right, so as you see, she absolutely loves her brother. All that that you heard, this is her first time seeing Major, and there's Major. Say hello to the Bryants.
Hello.
Those are the Bryants. That's Mr. Darian and Miss Nita. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So all that's how your kids will be, right? So she loves her brother. She's in town, and she hadn't seen him probably in the last month. So I apologize for that, but that's real, right? That's what we go through. So apologize, but that's
we locked ours in the bathroom, so you won't have to worry about it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Good. So, I guess you heard me at the beginning of the show. I thought that Crystal was going to be dropping them off. I guess not. So they're all here. We got three amigos. So I'm going to ask my amazing wife to calm them to kind of have the young ones keep it down while we're on the show.
I'm sorry.
All right. So hey, babe, she'll be coming on. All right. So I apologize. Here we go. The deciding factor in the proposal, I heard it.
Okay. So essentially, what made me come to the conclusion that I wanted to be with Tanita for the rest of my life was actually how she treated my son. Tanita loves my son as if he is her own. I grew up in a very religious home. My father is a pastor, and I kind of look for things along that nature as far as the type of mother I want around my child. If she's able to, do the domestic things, but at the same time, is she able to be supportive, and is her love going to be unconditional? And thus far, Tanita has done a wonderful job of doing that, not only supporting me and my dreams and my ambitions, but also loving my son. And like I said, nurturing him and treating him as if he were her own, disciplining him like he was her own, but making sure that there's no distinguishing line between children. Tanita challenges me more than I've been challenged before in previous relationships. So that was another thing that I took into consideration. She doesn't let me get away with stuff like I'm used to. She holds me accountable. So all of these things that I feel are making me a better man, a better father, a better partner, I can attribute to this big head woman sitting beside me. So that's ultimately what kept me, or ultimately decided to make me propose to her.
All right, so Nita, your perspective. Good, thank you. What was your perspective? What outside of the amazing viral proposal, we know it's much more than that. What made you say yes to his proposal?
I'd say the biggest factor, like to mention, I'm a lot to handle. His patience definitely with me, and he's helped me grow as a woman and a mother. He's also challenged me as well. And I'd probably say before he decided or knew, I felt like I knew he was the one for me, based on those and seeing the type of father he was and how involved he was with his son, where I lacked that with my daughter, so it made me appreciate him more and the type of man that he is.
Outstanding. Okay. So that kind of goes into, my next question, which, and again, I appreciate the transparency. So let's dig into that, right? So the balance, the harmony, what you saw in Darian, you said you were lacking with your daughter. How has that transformed since you guys have been together? Have you noticed a change for the better, or you still are working towards it? What have been the pluses from you coming together as a couple? How has it helped your relationship?
I definitely say, especially for my daughter, like I said, she doesn't get the same, I guess, presence as his son does with him. So having him in that picture has given her a strong father figure role in her life, which is a major plus for me. That was my main concern when I decided I was going to be with someone or choosing my partner was, are they a good father figure for her? And would she be comfortable in the life or entering both of our lives? And it took her a minute to warm up naturally, as any child would, but she loves him to death.
Yeah, we still have our days, so I got to put her in the headlock.
Okay. So this is good. This is really good. So how old are the kids? How old's your son, Darian? How old's your daughter, Nita?
6 and 5.
Oh, really?
So 6 and 5, and going on 16 and 15 would be more.
Hey, believe me, I know. I know that very well. My daughter, yeah, she. I think she was about 16 in her mindset, or at least she thought she was when we first met. So I know.
They're where they're very independent and don't want to get a lot of help, but at the same time, they need you for everything. So it's a challenging time, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely agree. You got to ask me this then. How when did you know your blended family would actually work? How did you know? What was that key moment? Was it and from each of you individually, maybe you can share. How did you know? I mean, because it's hard blending families. The dynamic of one, the culture of another, it can be hard. And for most people, it shuts the relationship down before it even has a chance to grow.
Very true.
How did you know? And even more so, how do you know it's going to continue to work, right? Are you putting any processes in place? So that's a dual pronged question. But the first one is, how did you know it would work? When did you know it would work?
Okay. How did I know it was going to work? Me and Tanita have been through a lot of ups and a lot of downs getting to this point. A lot of people say we're the perfect blended family, we're the cookie cutter family, but it took a lot of work and dedication to actually get to this point. It's been numerous times where we question whether or not would this actually work. Whereas you have to put, when you're trying to blend the family, you have to put your child that you have and also their child that they have in the main focus of the situation. Yes, I want to be with this person, but at the same time, is this relationship healthy for our children? And if we're going to continue, is this going to be a space that we can be conducive in their growth? So I knew that this blended family was going to work when we would have our spats and the children would take notice of that and they would comment on it. And they would say, why is Darian and Davin over here? Or why is Tanita and Leonie over here? They had already started making that bond and forming together. Whereas it's bigger than just me and Tanita. It's not, we were girlfriend and boyfriend for a time, but it's more than girlfriend and boyfriend because we've introduced our children to this dynamic. So whether or not we're ready to blend this family, subconsciously, it's already begun. So when I was able to see that our children are starting to form this relationship and really taking it serious and making it a family dynamic early on, is when it started to change my perspective. Like, okay, it's not just about the adults, it's about the children. Let me do things to show that I can be a leader for this family. Let me do things that will let her know that I'm ready, I'm serious, and I'm committed to the growth of this family. Yeah. And that's what really did it for me. Like I said, seeing the children change, or the children being vocal about their appreciation for the other side of the family, is what made me shift gears. Like, okay, this family thing can work. And I guess to touch on the second part of your question, how do I know that it will work? I feel like the best part of a blended family is that it's continuous work. We're always working. Every day we're learning something new about each other, whether it be me and Tanita, or we're learning something new about the children. So I feel like as long as we're both willing to work and put in that effort and that focus and that attention into our family and keep God first, then there's nothing that can deny us and that we won't have any issues.
Sure. Thank you. How did you know, Nita? What was it for you?
I think I knew when, kind of similar to Darian, when I noticed the kids creating that bond, both of them coming from being used to being only children. It took them a while to warm up to each other and get along, but once I saw them form that bond, you know, as the adults, you know, I knew I was ready to be with him, but I was hesitant because I wanted to make sure the kids were also able to, you know, form that bond. And once I saw them form that bond, and, you know, he made it clear that he was on board and we both were on the same page and wanted to move forward and create this blended family, then I knew we were ready.
That's good. That's good. And, you know, I think it also begs the question, the father of your daughter, the mother of your son, how's that working, right? Because we know sometimes, I mean, it works well and sometimes it doesn't. So how is that working with you guys?
I think we've been blessed in that aspect. Both of our children's other parents have been very mature in the handling of our relationship. My son's mother and I, we're still civil. We still communicate on a regular basis in regards to his needs and what he needs. She's since moved on and has found somebody that she's with, and I'm happy. And Davin is forming a relationship with him. So, you know, at first I was kind of hesitant. I don't want another man around my child, and that's my son and all that. And it was actually Tanita who brought it to my attention and maybe look at it. That's why I say I keep her around, because she brought to my attention, look, you've moved on in this relationship with me. You found happiness. So why is it not fair for her to move on to find happiness? And I had to sit back and think of it and look at it like that. Like, you're right, I'm being selfish. She deserves happiness too. And also, you just have to be secure with your relationship with your child. I know that me and Davin's relationship is strong. He's a mama's boy, but he knows that I'm his father. He loves me, and no other man can take that away from me and can interfere in our relationship. Her boyfriend's been very respectful of our relationship. So as far as me and his mother, we're good. We don't have any issues as far as co-parenting. We set a schedule. I get him on certain days. She gets him on certain days. We alternate weekends. So we've been very blessed in that aspect, whereas other people that I know have not. So I'm thankful.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective. So.
All right. Okay. Nita. Okay.
Leanna's father, you know, she knows who her father is. She sees him from time to time, but, you know, unfortunately, she doesn't have that same relationship as his son is blessed to have with him. But I can say that he has been mature about the situation, and even, you know, his family and his mother, they've, you know, accepted Darian with open arms. They're real appreciative of, you know, Leilani having this role model in her life. Her father actually, his mother was a single mother of 3 children. So, you know, she was very understanding of it and very supportive. And I'm very thankful for that.
Excellent. That's good. That's good to hear. That is. And it gets to the point where it's perfect, right? No relationship is perfect. It's constantly growing, and growth hurts sometimes, and it's uncomfortable. So that's good, though. What I like is you're out in front of it. You know, it sounds like, and I think where most people mess up that I've seen is they just want to stick their head in the sand and think things are just going to work out. You know, oh, they'll work out. Doesn't happen like that most often, and the kids are the ones who end up suffering.
Right.
So it's just commendable that you guys are, again, out in front of it, being proactive. And I think that's the one thing that you have to do, because at the end of the day, you're not with those individuals, but you're connected through your children.
Right.
So I can already tell y'all honor their father and the mother, which I think is just incredible, because you just don't see that often nowadays. You just don't, especially in the climate we're in now, where people, they just feel that they can say whatever, do whatever. And you know what? I'm so tired of people, and I've come to hate this term. I really do. I'm just going to speak my truth. Well, what is that? I'm so tired of hearing that term. I'm just speaking my truth. Well, if your truth, what if your truth is a little shaded or jaded? Then it's not good when it's not in the context of the people who matter, who the people it's affecting. So it's just good to hear that. Really, really excited to hear that from you.
I think we're big, firm believers in the old saying, takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for all sides to come together, because at the end of the day, the child is what's most important. We're the adults who need to set an example for our children. There's been times where Davin has said something like, I want to stay with you, Mom. I don't want to go to Dad's house or something. And his mother, she'll be right there. No, it's your dad's time. You need to spend his time with him. He loves you. Nita loves you. Spend his time with him, and vice versa. If one weekend he may change his mind, like, I want to stay with you guys, I don't want to go to her house. No, this is her time. Both sides love you. I think that's the main thing, just enforcing that everybody loves you, that you need a whole village to raise you, and just keep that dynamic going, and then you'll see a positive outcome.
So this is really good. So you're nipping a problem that most blended families have, and that is the kids, whether it's intentional or unintentional, playing you against each other, right? You know, and that is so good to see. And if you don't mind me asking, I would assume y'all are in your mid-30s?
Well, I just turned 30.
Okay.
And today
I'm 27.
Okay, so great thing. I don't want to offend anybody, but it is so good to see that y'all are handling this the right way, nipping that problem in the bud. I'm going to tell you, it's good to see. Now, I'm 42. I'm 42. We've been doing this blended family thing for 16, going on 17 years now. If you count the engagement, 19 years, going on 20. But the great thing is that y'all are handling this early on, and it's just awesome to see. It also makes it even a little easier when the children are young. So that's also, it helps. It helped that Camille was, it does. It helps. Age does make a difference. It does help. So here's my next question. Do you suggest marital counseling? What's your take on marriage counseling? I have my own. I think it's necessary, but the counseling we went through 16 years ago, it didn't have that blended family concentration. And so we had amazing counselors that were the best. But we realized that we were missing some of those things that I think were really causing the problems, which was the blended family. It was hard. So what's your take on that? And what kind of marriage counseling should couples be getting when they're bringing two families together?
We actually went through counseling when we were just girlfriend and boyfriend even before we got engaged. More so on what you said, since we brought the kids into this dynamic and we wanted this to work, we had a lot of issues that we had to overcome in our past, bringing past hurt into this relationship and just immaturity and stubbornness. So it took a lot for us to get to this point. Like I said, me and Tanita are two, I guess, type A individuals. She's very stubborn. I'm very stubborn. She's very like this. We get like this sometimes. And it took for us to go to counseling to try to see the other person's perspective or their view on what the situation was. But I will say this about counseling: even if you have the greatest counselor in the world, like you said, if you're not ready to make that change, then it's not going to work. We went through counseling for a while, and we got a lot of good stuff to think about and a lot of good exercises and activities to perform and things to carry over into our relationship. But I don't think that we were ready to enforce those things. We didn't finish counseling. We just stopped going out the blue, and we still just argued and fight. And we referenced our counseling and what we learned, but it still didn't make a difference. I don't think it was till we actually got to the point where we both sat down with ourselves and said, okay, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to take this in. I'm tired of the place that we're in, that we actually were able to come to the place that we are now. So I think counseling is good as far as premarital counseling, but I think that you have to be open to it. And as far as the type of counseling, I agree. I believe that if you are in a blended family, then there needs to be the concentration, focusing on the kids, making sure that you're not playing favorites, disciplining the other person's child. All these need to be concentrations, because all these things are things that come up even today. And like I said, that's the great thing about the blended family. You're constantly growing, constantly experiencing new topics to overcome. It's a matter of if you're going to handle it, if you're going to stick it out, and if you're going to put that work in. So
Sure. Please, Nina, please. I know you have give me some commentary on that as well. That was good, Darian. Thank you.
To piggyback off of what he said about the counseling, I believe it helped in certain aspects, but it wasn't until we both decided that we were ready to actually take this serious and make that decision to change and understand that we were really going to have to work at it, not just, we'll be good or we'll work on it this week and then next week go right back. Like, we had to both make the conscious effort and decide, okay, we are going to continuously work on this, not just decide when we're going to do it and when we decide we don't feel like it. And I'd say a big chunk of what actually brought us to counseling in the very beginning when we started meshing the family, to be completely transparent, I felt that he wanted to keep Davin, his son, kind of separated, like his family here, what he had going on with, his family with Davin's mother, and then had us separate. So that was where we would bump heads a lot, because I felt like we were kind of getting pushed to the side, and it would make me question him. Okay, you understand what you're getting yourself into? Are you aware that you will have to mesh this family, whether, she likes it or not? And, I guess for him being selfish, he kind of wanted to play the fence a little bit, and I wasn't happy. I
love it.
The man.
here's what's so cool. You brought up something that I think is a great idea, and I think even as me and my wife do our blended coaching with families, I think the thing that you said that has really stuck out with me, that's resonated with me, is that you went through marital counseling as boyfriend and girlfriend, not once the engagement started, but as boyfriend and girlfriend, which means that you knew it. I think, would you agree? Even before you know it's serious, when you're talking about children at your age, sometimes I know when they're 17 or 18, it might be a little bit of a different approach, but when they're this young, I think it is so wise to do that. So you actually did marital counseling as boyfriend and girlfriend. I think that's brilliant. I don't know if more people are doing that, but I think that if more people did, they would be in a lot better situation in terms of knowing if this is going to work or not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in taking that step. You don't want to just get the car off the lot without driving it. So
yeah. No, that's really, I think, an important point that I want to drive home with the listeners. So on a much more, I think, broader context note, your internet show. What's the mission, right? What's the mission of your YouTube show? And tell people about it, where they can find it, where to go. I'll type it in so they can get to it. But tell us about it. Why did you do it? What made you think about it? And again, what's the rationale?
Okay. Blended Bryants came about. We consider ourselves an urban lifestyle brand. What it is highlighting the blended family in a positive context. Because believe it or not, blended families are becoming the norm. They're becoming the traditional family nowadays. And we want to just show the African American family in a positive light that, showed our experiences. Not just a single mother, because it's a rise in single mothers and the father being absent. Just because a relationship doesn't work out doesn't mean that the father can't be present. Doesn't mean that the mother has to do everything on her own. So we just wanted to show a different viewpoint or a different idea of the quote unquote traditional Black family. And as far as our YouTube page, we have two different aspects of it. We have our vlog, which is our daily life. You'll see our coming of age story. The first story is our proposal, or the first video that we did is our proposal. And it just matriculates on from there. You'll see the kids, and you'll see us finding out that we're expecting. You'll see us telling our parents and their reactions that, hey, you're going to be grandparents, and how we dealt with that. But at the same time, we also have what is called blended conversations. Blended conversations is what we're doing now. We got a lot of questions once we announced our blended platform and our warm reception of how do you guys deal with these situations? How do you do this? Now, we're not experts. We're not life coaches like you, Marcus, but I believe, like I said earlier, that it takes a village to raise a child. So by us sharing our experiences and what we've overcome, we may be a blessing to somebody else by us giving our testimony, being transparent, of just giving another viewpoint or perspective. Like, I didn't think of it like that. Maybe we can take this into our relationship and our family. And at the same time, when people, we like to call them our cousins, because we're all big family. Marcus, you're our cousin now. When our cousins send us questions as far as topics or that they want to discuss, or they give us input or feedback, it then comes back to me. It's me that we can take a step back and look at, like, hey, we didn't think of it like that. And in turn, we can apply those perspectives or those points of view into our relationship and help us grow. So it's just one big circle. It's just everybody helping everybody, trying to do the best job that we can do to raise these kids, our future generation. So that's Blended Bryant in a nutshell. Just a positive.
So tell us how to get there. The Blended Bryant. I'm typing this in now. Blended Bryants.
So yeah, just go to YouTube, www.youtube.com. Type in Blended Bryants. and we should pop up. Yeah, Instagram is Blended Bryants as well. You can go to Facebook, type in Blended Bryants.
All right. Okay.
You'll find my
let everybody see that. Type in Blended Bryants for YouTube channel, and then Instagram, I believe it's just the
this Blended Bryants as well, at Blended Bryants for Instagram. And we haven't been as engaged in Facebook as we should. We've seen that a lot of our following comes from Instagram, and our YouTube is starting to grow now. But we do have a Facebook. But primarily, if you want to catch our content or have questions for Blended Conversations, you can contact us at Instagram, or you can send us email, blendedbryants@gmail.com.
All right, let me get that as well. I believe people have had enough time. So email is blendedbryants@gmail.com.
That's correct.
Inquiries and engagements. There we go. So people can see that on the broadcast as they look at it throughout the week and moving forward. So here's the great thing. Here's the great thing I want to talk about next. It's the viral video. What is the genesis of the proposal for the viral video? Who thought of it? Where would you get that idea? How did this happen? And then tell us just what happened. How did it blow up and where you're almost at, I think, 47,000 views? What happened?
Not to toot my own horn, but I'll take credit for that. What happens is we like to do family pictures for Halloween. So we were trying to come up with a good family costume this year. Last year we did superheroes. I was Wolverine, my son was Spider-Man, and our daughter was Leilani, she was Wonder Woman. So this year we wanted to go above and beyond. What can we do? So I guess I'll give her the credit in her coming up with the idea. She decided, let's do the Bryant family, but the Adams family. So what it is we took the Adams family thing, and I was Gomez and she was Morticia, and my son was Pugsley, and Leilani, she played Wendy with her stone cold face that she always does. And what it was is I had been thinking about a way to propose to Tanita for a while now. I had a couple of different ideas, and they never came to fruition, and something always happened, and I was like, this has to be it. This has to be something special. You know, every girl dreams about this moment since they were little, and you want to make it as special as possible for them, and blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I decided to go ahead. I had the ring already. I had talked to my friends about it, and they kind of helped me plan it. So I want to give a shout out, I guess, to Eric Watkins. Thank you. Bird Hayes, thank you, because if I don't, I have to hear about it. So anyway, they helped me come up with this plan. My fraternity, New Epsilon chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we're in the process of renovating a old plantation home to become our frat house. So if you go look at the picture, it's like this old creepy plantation home that it's like wires and vines and everything hanging out. So it looks really old and creepy. So this whole time I planning this, I got the backdrop. Of course, I had to ask permission from her father. I got his blessing. So I was like, okay. And what it was is he was going to take our picture in front of the home. In front of the backdrop of the home or whatever. And the cue was he's gonna take two pictures. I was like, let me look at them. So I went up to him. I fake look at the pictures. Okay, I like them, but let's take one more. So at this point, he knows to start recording at this point. So I'll walk back up there, and then I give my speech. Hey, since this is going to be a Bryant family picture, I think it's only right that everybody in the picture should have the last name Bryant. And I dropped down to one knee. My son, you can see him in the video being dramatic. He's oh my God.
So did you know, was he part of? Oh, so he didn't know either.
I couldn't tell the kids because they can't hold water. So the only ones that knew were my close friends and her father. Her mother didn't even know. And if you watch the video, you'll hear her, oh my God, I'm crying, and all this stuff in her strong German accent. So
good stuff.
So I got down on one knee. She started crying, which was the reaction that I wanted. I asked her to be my wife. She said yes, of course. After that, we took a couple more pictures. Then from inside of the home, my friends came out with roses. They all had roses for her. And they scared the crap out of her because when we pulled up, she was like, what are all these cars doing here? And I had to make up an excuse like, oh, they were working on the homecoming float here. I had to think on my feet because nobody lives there. It's a vacant home. So she already be inquisitive. Like, I swear I thought that she knew already, but she claims that she so
I had no idea.
They came out and they gave her roses, and we took a couple more family pics and everything. And that was it. A lot of people thought that it was very creative. And like I said, we're not known, but we are known for our family costumes and our pictures and stuff. We try to be creative and fun with them. So a lot of people found it and they thought it was a cute idea. My little brother Desmond, he's a graphic designer, so he kind of put some filters on it to make it look all scary and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed.
And we dropped it on Halloween as our Halloween family pick. Also, she said yes. And everybody just loved it. Everybody thought it was a really clever idea. And like I said, the video really sent it over the top with my son being dramatic and her crying and her mother in the background and my mom in the background. So everybody just really seemed to enjoy it. And it just spread like wildfire. People just kept sharing it. I think it's like almost 400 shares, but it's been seen about 47,000 times. I think it's still growing to this day. So that's kind of what started. It was the genesis for us starting our lifestyle brand.
Outstanding. So we got some people. We got part of my crew. Ebony just joined now. She's asking here. I'm going to show this comment. All right. So we're going to show the video, but Ebony, good evening. Marcus. Now this is my girl Ebony. She, her and my wife have been friends for a couple of decades. She said, I need to set up a notification of when you go live. Who are the Bryants? So Ebony, let me tell you real quick. The Bryants are an amazing blended family that how I found out about them was through the viral video seen about 47,000 times, Ebony. That's what they were just talking about. But looking through their social media footprint, what I see is a couple that is very intentional, Ebony, about sharing what they've been through so others don't have to go through it. And they want to be that voice in the community because they believe, like us, it takes a village to raise a family. So, Ebony, you can reach out to them. You can also look at the broadcast again, Ebony, right before this, and I start listing all their social media footprint, all their handles and all of that. Okay, and here's Ebony. She says, look, I'll check it out. So she's already telling us. Ebony, I believe Ebony is from back east. I think it's Virginia. Ebony, tell me if I'm wrong or right, but real strong relationship, and they're in a blended family.
Okay.
So in here,
like I said, blended families are becoming the norm. So just trying to shed that positive light and change the narrative. So
yes.
Hope you check us out and you engage with us. And you become our extended family, our cousins. So
yeah. No, I was wrong. It's Baltimore. So Ebony just said it's Baltimore, but yes, I will tell you this. She'll definitely just a great advocate for blended families, great example. And you see that in her social media feeds as I watch Ebony. She really does look at her husband's daughter as her own and just is really, really active with that relationship. So good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to ask you, Nita. So how did you feel? Were you a little freaked out? I mean, did you at what point? I mean, until he got on one knee, did you have any idea? I mean, you can go ahead and this can be a Blended Family Guy exclusive. Did you have any idea? Any idea?
Honestly, it wasn't until he started giving this speech. I'm like, this isn't the norm for him. And when he mentioned, you know, since we're taking a Bryant family photo, that's when I kind of like, oh my gosh, is he about to propose? And as he got on my knee, my stomach literally dropped because I'm like, it's about time. I've been waiting for this for so long.
If you watch our first video on our YouTube page, my friend Eric asked her, how did she feel? Or he asked me first. I'm like, get her. She's the one that just got proposed. And her first response was, it's about time.
I love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go into that. And thank you, Ebony, for letting us know. Ebony was born in Baltimore, but was raised in North Carolina. So she's a Southern girl. I'm going to tell you this much. I want to know why you were ready. Was it because you knew that Darian was the one? You were like, you know what? And here's what I see from a lot of women that have blended families, Nita, is they don't have time to play games. And I'm not saying Darian was, but I'm just saying they're like, you know what? I have a daughter. Darian, you're a good man. Let's go. What are we waiting on? Let's get this going. Our kids like each other. Is that where you were at in terms of the situation? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what it was actually. I'm sure he would second it. I was very vocal about not having time to play games. You know, it's either you're in or you're not. Like, there's the door. If you're not ready, you won't hurt my feelings. I'm ready. So, you know, if you're not, I'd rather you let me know now than waste my time. So,
wow. So this is the thing then, right? And, you know, I think my daughter subscribes to this philosophy, and I really appreciate about her. My daughter, she has her own thing going on. It sounds like, Nita, the difference I see between some men and women and others is you weren't saying that out of need.
right.
You know what I mean? You weren't coming off needy. And Darren, I don't think he would have wanted to be with you if you were a needy woman. You had your own thing going on, and you were just telling him, look, hey, and women out there, I want you to listen to Nita right now. She basically gave Darren not an ultimatum, but just a, hey, look, I have some things going on. I'm good. Now I want you, Darren. I mean, you're a good man, but if we're going to take this, I have kids involved. I got time. I'm going to school. I have the day job. I'm a full-time mom. And I think it's a great thing to see, because I see the exact opposite. And I know you all do too, where it's needy.
Yeah.
And normally needy women attract dominant or domineering men that actually end up taking advantage of them. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what I've seen. That's the correlation. So it's just good to see that and I think most men, Darian was already and Darian, let me ask you this. Now that Nita is told me that you were already planning on making that decision. You had already, because most men, if you're like me, I already knew this was the one. I knew Crystal was the one.
Yeah, like I said, I had already bought the ring and had a couple of different opportunities to propose and try to, and something, like I said, always just came up. So I always had it in my mind that I wanted to propose to her. I just wanted to make it as special as possible. So that was one of the holdups as far as actually giving it to her. And like I said, we just had to make sure that was right. We just had, like I said,
I'm with.
So we had to make sure. I had to make sure that I could tolerate her for the rest of my life. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that was right, and it was. But early on, speaking to what you were talking about, Mike, she made it very clear that Leonie and I are a package deal. So if you're going to be with me, you're going to be with her, and And that's something that I had to take into consideration, because even though I had a child, I wasn't necessarily looking for someone with a child, as crazy as selfish as that sounds. But it's the truth. I wasn't really looking for someone with a child. So when we would be talking about dating early on and she couldn't go out on a date because she had her child, or she, have time for me, I was kind of taken back by that, because I'm not used to it. I'm used to being the center of attention. Like, hey, never mind that you may have to be on the back burner because I have a son. I don't have to go through that. You're supposed to pay all your attention to me. But she made it very clear that, hey, if you're with me, you're with her. She comes first, and you got to fall in line. And I guess I fell in line. So. Here we go.
I like that. And I'm going to put that up on the board. Nita to Darian. Me and my daughter are a package deal. I like that.
Yeah, to speak on that, a lot of that, I would say, has to do with my upbringing. And I'm not sure if he recalls in the beginning, not to say that I found it necessary to kind of break that ego, but it was, I had to let him know my father, I grew up with my dad, raised me to have a man in my life because I want him there, not because I need him there. Yep. So anytime, he got a little egotistical, I don't need you here. I was just fine, with
she's quick to remind you she can do all bad. Be bad all by herself and do bad by herself? Yeah, I still hear that today.
But no, you don't.
Right.
I mean, more than, he probably wasn't used to dealing with women who had children or a child. So, I let that be known that, she is someone important to me. She did not ask to be here. I'm not going to put my child on the back burner for a man. If you decide that you're wanting to be with me or spend time with me, you need to understand that I'm a mother first.
Here's a great point that I want to make. That again, you said you were straight up with Darren up front. I'm not putting my daughter on the back burner for this relationship. Now, have you now both agreed? Okay, now the whole marriage. How are you planning on not putting them on the back burner, but putting your marriage first? And then the kids still managing that blend second, right? So
I think I'm a bigger advocate of that. She, like I said, she's used to being a single mom and having to do everything by herself. And I'm like, okay, look, that's not the case anymore. I'm here. You're no longer a single mom.
Yeah.
If you're feeling tired or you need a break, you can take that. You have somebody else here. So I'm constantly trying to reassure her that she's not by herself anymore, that we have made this blended connection. When we decide to do this, this is what we're going to do. So I think that's one of our challenges.
Yeah.
Her trying to take on the world by herself and letting her know that, hey, I'm here. And that just goes to me. Like I said, being with her, she's changed my focus. I want to be a better husband or a better partner. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better man. And constantly pushes me to do that. But at the same time, like I said, our marriage comes first. So these kids, they gotta understand that we need our alone time. We need mommy and daddy time. Leonie, it's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Darian. That was one of our biggest challenges.
Sure.
And to this day, it can still be a challenge because she doesn't understand that sometimes.
I'm still learning.
Hey, we're adults. We need this time. We can't have the kids underneath us 24/7. Our room needs to be separate. It's not their playground. Like, we need that barrier for our own relationship.
Yeah.
Even though they are the focal point, you can't let them consume our marriage because you won't have
you can't. So just this is what's good, Nita. It's okay to feel that way. You know why? You've been raising your daughter, basically, you've been a single parent for a while. And that was the one thing that I had. I was and I had to realize I was selfish when me and Crystal first got married, because I was like, you know what? It's a new sheriff in town. And my daughter was like, yeah, let me know how that works out. Because Camille was very strong-willed, and it had been her and her mom for, 7 years. And so what I had to understand is it's going to take some time for both of them. For one, I had to earn my trust. I had to earn their trust. And not necessarily Crystal's, because she married me, but in terms of I had to earn that relationship, that respect with Camille. And I still do every day, right? You earn being a father,
Right.
The right to be called a father and a dad. So it was very clear to me when I got some tough counseling. It was good, accountable counseling that said, you know what, Marcus, you need to calm down. You the sheriff in town, but you ain't running the show. You're not running the show. You gotta give Crystal some time to come out of that and grow into it. So I know where you're coming from. And I see Ebony, right? That's right, Nita. You had to let him up front. And I admire that you told Darian respected it. And now now look at you guys. God is good.
All right. Hey. It's not come on now. But I agree with what you were saying, Marcus. In the aspect of you have to earn that right. Like I said, I grew up in a spiritual household where I was taught that the father is supposed to be the head of the household. Now, my parents divorced, and I was raised by my mother. So I didn't have my father in my life for a long time, as much as I would have liked, because he moved to a different state. Now, we still spoke on the phone, and he was still present, just not as much, as I would have liked growing up. So when I became a father, I wanted to make sure that I was as present as possible, that my son was always going to know that I'm his father, that I love him, and that I'm always going to be there. So when things didn't work out with his mother and it was just co-parenting, I felt like, okay, look, my son is my world. Nothing's going to affect this relationship. I'm not going to let anybody come between it or mess it up.
Sure.
So that's kind of how bullheaded and focused I was on that sentiment. So once I got past that and I was here with Tanita and we started blending this family, it's like, okay, I'm good now. We have that understanding, me and his mother. Tanita loves my son. I love her daughter. We're good. Now I can be a father. I'm the head of the household. This is my house. We're gonna run it how I want to run it. And that's the mindset that I had. But to piggyback on what you said, you have to earn that. And she let me know that just because you're a man doesn't mean that you're the father or you're the head of the household. You have to earn that title.
That's right.
So it wasn't until I started pulling back and focusing on earning that title, things started to be smoother around the house. It's not something that's just given to you.
That's right.
She'll remind me every once in a while now, hey, you said you want to be the father, you want to be the head of the household. This is what's entailed. Go take the trash out. You want to be the head of the household, go do it. So,
right.
All point that you made, it's not given. You have to earn it. And,
and rent is due every day. What is it? Trust and respect is leased, and rent is due every day. And that's the way I look at it.
I like it.
So, no, good stuff. Good stuff. One of my good friends from Albuquerque, Amber, Renee, they're in a blended family. And they, again, very, very excited. Thanks, Amber, for joining. She was saying good. I know it was probably around the stuff that Nita was saying, probably not stuff we were saying.
Yeah, nobody. They probably threw this out when we were talking. So I'm not surprised.
All right.
I'm just the eye candy.
Oh man. So No, this has been a great conversation. I have a few more things. Oh, hey, Evelyn. Thank you for listening. All right. That's one of my good friends from Sugar Land, Texas. Evelyn says, hi there. Was talking about you today. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. I want to see. Let me see what else. Let's see who else has. Let me see. I got some more questions for you. Hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Almost done. I got a few more questions for you. This is the lightning round. Okay, this is the lightning round. Who's the hot-headed one? Who's the cool-headed one?
I think just from our conversation, you can tell that this is the hot-headed.
That was evident. That was evident.
Yeah. Definitely, she's the hot-headed one.
I can own it.
You can own that one. Okay. Who's the greatest example? What's the greatest example you want your children to see in the home? What's the greatest example that you want your children to see in the home? Yeah, that's a deep one. That's you know.
Coming from speaking for myself, I'm not gonna speak for her. Speaking for myself, the greatest example I want to show the kids is the power of a 2-parent home. Like I said, my parents divorced, so I didn't grow up with that. My son and his mother and I, we split, and Nani, her mother, and her father split. So they're accustomed to that, but at the same time, I want to make this blended family work and let them know that it's okay. You fall, but you get back up and you can find love again. And that if you're willing to work towards the family and put that time in, then it can work.
Sure.
My mom likes to stress family first, and her dad used to bother me a lot because I didn't have that like I said, that touchy-feely family dynamic growing up. He really wanted family first, and everybody else will come last. But the more that we try to blend this family, or the more that we do blend this family, I'm starting to, I guess, buy into it more. Don't tell myself that, but buy into it more. That the family dynamic is what's most important. You do by your family. My mom likes to say, your brother and sister are all you have in this world. When I'm gone, that's all you're going to have. So I want our children to know that they're all that they have in the world, and that they, have that connection. So family first, and that a 2-parent home is possible with hard work, dedication, and the Lord. So that's me.
That's good. What about you? That's good.
It's kind of similar. I grew up, my parents, they've been married this year will make 30 years now. And my father especially instilled in me family, self, friends, other, in that order. And, like you said, it would bother him, but, that was what was instilled in me, and it's something that I found very important. And, with us being a blended family, I want the kids to know and understand that regardless of, whether your father didn't work out, you now have this extended family, and you have this support from all angles around you. So I would definitely would like them to take away that regardless of the situation, that they have support. It doesn't have to be, especially, them being in school. My daughter, she's in public school, and, there are kids in her class that aren't blessed with, having that blended family. They go through things at home that they bring to school, and as long as, she understands, that she can have, her parents in 2 separate households, but still have that love.
Yeah, I like that. Darian, Nita, I really like that commentary because it showed selflessness in terms of the children. It showed the focus on them. And I like that. That's just it really is just a good sign of a great relationship. That's great to see. So I want to know what's next. What's next for the Blended Bryants? What do you have coming out? Do you want to let the audience know of anything other than tying into your YouTube channel, Instagram? I think I heard you say you wanted to also start focusing on Facebook. What else is coming out that you want my community to know about so they can share with their communities and really drive traffic to you guys?
Okay, yeah, we're going to be focusing a lot more on our vlogging and blended conversations. So we definitely ask that your audience and your viewers send us questions so that we can keep creating content as far as that platform. In our personal lives, like I said, we're expecting. So we're looking forward to our bundle of joy. So be on the lookout for more vlogs, and Nina's going to be very transparent in what she's going through during her pregnancy and how it's affecting her and the children. So be looking forward to that in the vlogs. We're also getting married.
A few months right after having the baby will be our wedding. Will be coming.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're looking to, like I said, document that process. We may even film it. I don't know. If things keep going the way they're going, we've been getting a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of our audience has been growing faster than I anticipated. So I guess it's a blessing. A lot of people are buying into the message as far as showing a positive narrative of the Black family. So just becoming, like I said, more transparent, more forthcoming, sharing our experiences and building our extended family. That's what we're looking forward to. Engaging with great people like you, Marcus, and like I said, just collaborating and building our tribe. That's what we're looking forward to.
Let's do it, man. I love it. I want you guys to really just continue to insulate yourselves as you're growing as a couple, insulate those children, and keep pushing, man. I love what you guys are doing. Praying for it's girl or a boy. You know, girl or boy yet? What is it going to be?
We have the sex, but we don't know. We're actually going to do a gender reveal.
Oh, okay. I figured. Okay, makes sense.
We say this is going to be our last one. We got a girl and a boy, and now we have our child together. So these other two are enough, but we decided to add to the pot. We're going to do a gender reveal. Be surprised with you guys as well, and yeah, we don't know. It's killing us. I think she may not. We actually put the sex. We got it in the envelope. We put it in a little lockbox, and I have the key. She has the lockbox, but I'm sure she's picked the lock. So no. she probably knows.
You guys don't know either. You don't know. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, nobody knows at this point. Her mother is ready to strangle us because she wants to know.
All right, yeah.
My mom definitely wants to know. Keep asking all these questions, but nobody knows. So we'll see.
Awesome. Man, I am super excited at what's going on with you guys. Keep it up. Keep pushing. Look forward to the blogs, the YouTube channel. So community out there, if you're looking for the channel, just type in Blended Bryants. If you're on Instagram, Blended Bryants. And I know that you're about to activate that Facebook and take it to a whole nother level. So let us know when you're doing it. Would love to have you back on the show once the baby is here and you got some more updates for us.
Yes,
but thank you for joining. Thank you for
having us.
Yes, yeah. Definitely been a pleasure. We enjoyed it. Yeah. We enjoyed it. When you, like I said, when we discussed offline, when you initially sent out the invitation, I did my research on you because you don't want to just buy into anybody. But I definitely can appreciate your message and your platform and everything that you're doing. And I was really excited to collaborate. So I know your audience is used to you and the blessing that you bestowed upon them, but it was really nice and a treat for us to get to know you as well. So thank you for having me.
No. And again, thank you. The honor is all mine. I just want to let you know this, Darian. If you try to get over on your wife, remember she's going into cybersecurity. She's going to be able to mess with you, man. So you might as well.
Her father's already in cybersecurity, so he probably had my background information the second week of us dating. So I'm trying to stay on the straight and narrow, Mark. Trying to stay on the straight and narrow.
You don't have no choice, man. That's like my daughter. My daughter knows I'm in cybersecurity. I'm running background checks as soon as I find somebody's name out. So she already knows. So yeah, her husband. I'm letting him know at the wedding. You know, I'm watching. I'm watching you, and happy. I've been watching. I just want you to know that I'm not stalking you, but I'm watching you. So no, that's good. I really wish y'all well. Keep working on that cybersecurity. That is the thing to be at in this day and age. So I wish you well. Hey, Major, where's my son at? Major, Brent, show Mr. Darian your NASA space shuttle that you built. Major really likes Legos.
Okay. So my son Gavin is a master architect. He must get that from his grandfather.
Really?
Yeah. He's becoming pretty good at the Legos to the point where he doesn't even need my help. But that's awesome.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that one's.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's the little guy. This is one he did about probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But we just got the Black Panther Lego set, which is a collection.
How did you like the movie? How did you like the movie?
Movie was awesome. I'm a Marvel Comics guy.
Okay.
I'm a superhero guy. We love Superman, Batman. Major has theirs. I do too. But outside of it being the Black Panther and the all black cast, this was an amazing movie, man. Yeah. It just Marvel comic movies get better and better every time.
Yeah, I think it was a great backstory movie and very informative. The visuals, they did an awesome job. And I think, like I said, it's just a good thing where young African American males can have that presence on screen. Hey, I'm Black Panther. He looks like me.
Right.
I didn't appreciate Nita getting all googly eyed over Michael B. Jordan and all, but other than that, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask my wife. She's over here working with my son and his buddy. Hey, Chris, I'm gonna ask her, babe, do you like Michael B. Jordan?
Okay.
Now Nita, she was getting all googly eyed over Michael B. Jordan. Now I don't have to ask my daughter. My daughter's right over here. She's like, Dad, Michael B. Jordan is fine. Now she's unmarried. She's like, Dad, he's fine.
We almost didn't make it to the end of the movie. I was about to walk out, but I decided to stay to the end.
Yeah. So no, we both saw it. That was our date night on Thursday. We saw it on the Thursday of the week it came out, and magnificent movie. We're getting ready to take Crystal's mom, and we're going to try to see it as an entire family. We're going to take Major probably sometime this week, hopefully maybe right after school, but we're really excited. Great movie. Love the fact that Major can now say, you know what, there's a black superhero that looks like me. So
right. That's important. That's important.
It is. No, you guys go ahead. I know you, did you have the kids this weekend?
Yeah. Long weekend, about to get them ready for school tomorrow. So.
Okay, I know it's 8:21 there. We're about to put this little one in the shower, but I just want to say thank you, Chris. Blended Bryant's great conversation.
I could tell, as you can tell, sometimes on Sundays is just a lot going on here.
Oh yeah,
always.
I just appreciate what you all are sharing, and just we pray continual blessings over you all, your future. And, just know that, hey, the journey of blending is not an easy assignment, but you can do it, because the fact that your love for one another has caused you to move into the marital status. It means that, hey, we want to parent. We want to, first of all, we love one another, and then we love one another enough to do what is best for the children. And that's really to see wholeness and completeness. And your example is going to go, that's what we realize, is that our example is going to bleed off into, who our daughter picks, amen, or we just pray. Yes, I'm over there calling. She's on her phone. She's not thinking about that right now. And she turned her mouth up at me. But you know, we realize that hey, we're setting an example. You know, marriage is you know God's design, and it's for a reason. You know, he it, and he's gonna, you know, he makes it all work. It all works together. We always say the best blended family was the Lord Jesus Christ himself, that was brought down into a blend. You know, and so, you know, it's just an example. You know, to let us know that it can work. It can.
It's funny that you mentioned the Bible, because I always joke around with my friends and call myself Joseph, because I ended up inheriting the child without being with mom. So
Yes.
And you think about the circumstances. We always talk about that surrounded him at that time. He could have easily put her away because it didn't look good,
right?
You know, from the way that it appeared. And so, and then, you know, the reality of your son one day looking at you and saying, I was with my father in heaven. You're like, what? I'm your father. You know, I'm the one that's providing for you on earth. And you think about that. And I say, you know, sometimes it can feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very, you know, selfless assignment. And that's one thing that I've seen through him, you know, that when you honor the child, sometimes they don't always give it back. And you have to just be willing to handle that and know that those are seeds that are just waiting to be watered, nurtured, but they will blossom, and you will reap the benefits of it.
All right, you about to have me shouting up in here in a minute.
Come on.
Now she's a musician. She can get on that organ now.
I had that kind of Sunday, so I got a little residue on.
Right, we got a good sermon early. They about to have me running up and down this hallway in a minute.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you, but he's good, and you know, I just really believe in my heart of hearts. You know, we may have people that are watching us and they're not believers, or they may not be, you know, they may be in church but not involved in a Christ-centered, you know, solution. And I'm just telling you that, you know, it's very, very difficult to do this when you're centered, when you don't have him just in the center of it all, because, you know, at times we don't agree, but we come back to the center. And I remember years ago, like we're almost at 17 years. And I remember, I think around 10 years, I was like, God, you know, what has kept us that center? Because there are times when I don't want to hear his voice. He doesn't want to hear my voice. Nope. But thank God. I'm about to run because thank God for God. Just that alone, because he has allowed us to be able to say, you know, I can't do that to you because my love for him will not allow me to, or you can't do, and vice versa. But think about all the people you know that don't have that type of, I can't. You need it, you know, and it's just real, you know.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, just keep pushing. We've been at this thing almost 17 years, and it sometimes still seems like yesterday that we got married. So, time, it goes fast. So just make every moment sensational. Seriously, just like you did the proposal, man. Make every moment just like that. I mean, because you set the bar now. Yeah. Nita's got you now, buddy. She's got you now. You can't go anything less. So it's gonna be like, and I know she'll tell you, like, that's it. That's it, Darian. That's it.
Okay. Outspoken as she is in that sentiment, she's pretty passive. She always shows that she appreciates it, but I can tell she's faking. She's like, oh, thank you. But it ain't. When I leave the room, it's still stood in. It's over or something. You know, I can tell when she's faking. So, but she hasn't just been forthright and said you gotta step your game up. Not in that aspect yet. But I'm sure once we hit that 10-year mark, then I'll probably get it. You know, we still in the we ain't even in the honeymoon stage, but once we get to that 10-year mark, she'll probably be more forthcoming and telling me that she doesn't appreciate it as much as I think she does. So.
All right. Hey, y'all, I will let y'all, we got to let you get the kids ready for bed. Thank you so much for sharing you're not just yourselves, but even your kids, right? Because you could be engaging with them. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Please tell them thank you as well. They don't know me, they don't know us, but please just again tell them thank you for sharing their parents with us. All right. Y'all take care, man.
Yeah, I can tell y'all would be nice to get together with, so I'm speaking a trip. How about that?
Oh yeah, I already talked with Marcus. Y'all getting the invitation to the wedding, so we're ready.
Okay, now I am gonna run. Let me go run.
Jesus, Darian, stop it. You know my wife, man. She'll Jesus, don't start with her, Darian. But seriously, let's get together soon, man. I'll send out the link. But this will definitely you'll see a lot more engagement and views on this this upcoming week. So it's going to be good. I'll also make sure that Facebook sees the link as well. And please do the same across your community. But good stuff. We're going to have you guys on again. Thank you so much. I look forward to it. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing, amazing evening and a great week.
Thank you.
All right.
Mark.
Okay.
You guys have a good one.
All right. You too, Darren. Thanks again, Nita. Y'all take care.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.